Super Plus.
Greetings and welcome to the Hills of Steel 2 Tank Breakdown series. Before we get into the action, don't forget to like and subscribe to keep up to date with all the content, as well as join our Discord. Links are below. Today, we're introducing another tank to the Tank Breakdown series. Say hello to Stinger. This missile firing tank is a fantastic backliner which can help you do a lot of damage to help carry your team to victory. Looking at the statistics, you can see that overall it is relatively decent from its health, attack, speed and special, but we'll see those in action as we get into the game mode soon enough. We have it at level 11, which means that we have unlocked all 3 slots for the tank parts, and we'll decide on those as we get into it. There's a variety of skins to choose: Sporty, Knight, and Beach Stinger. So if you want to look stylish while taking down your enemies, you can do so. Now let's take a look at the actual tank parts. With Stinger, we want to be playing a style where we sit behind our teammates, dishing out as much damage as we possibly can, to ensure that we take the victory whatever the game mode is. Of course, you can play it in whatever variety you want, however suits your playstyle. Today, however, because we want to be doing as much damage as we can, we're going to be using the bullet, which increases damage by 5% guaranteed. You could also use the dice to get a chance at doing double damage, but we want the guaranteed. We're going to reduce the reload time by 20% by using the ammo crate. Of course, having higher quality of these parts will increase those statistics, making you even stronger. And for the final one, there is a number of different ones we could use. We have the antenna for the 15% more special gain from damage, or like we said, the fuzzy dice. However, we're going to go for the antenna because we want to be doing as much damage as possible and generating our special as quickly as we possibly can. So, now that we've got that set up, let's take a look at Stinger in action. First up, we're going to be checking out some Rampage. The objective being to take down enemies as much as we can and as fast as we can. So, we want the front line to be protecting us. However, we don't really have a frontline tank like a Wally or a Kong, so we have to be careful. We have 6 missiles. If we tap on it, we can fire a missile one at a time, or if we hold on it, we can fire all 6 missiles consecutively. Our special does much the same, but with a lot more damage. Some of the things to note about Stinger is that you have an arc with your missiles, which means that if you don't position correctly, you can fire either too far or too short. So you need to be careful where you're sitting to ensure that your missiles are going to be in range of the tanks and doing damage. Same for the special. You need to position correctly so that when you trigger your special, all of those missiles are going to be hitting directly onto targets. Because of the arc of the shots, however, it means that you can sit behind hills and be protected while doing damage to the enemies. It's also a great ability to use that whenever you have 2 frontline tanks fighting each other, you can step a little closer and get to that backline of the enemy teams, which some of the other tanks can't do. Stinger is a little bit squishy, however, so you need to be careful that if you don't have a frontline tank, if you get too close, it is possible you're going down very quickly. Taking a look at another game mode, Stinger, however, as great of a team player he is, isn't really that great on their own. In this case, we're playing Be the Boss, and as you can see, we are the boss on our own. The range of our missiles isn't too great, which means we're forced to get a little closer than we would like, meaning we take a lot of damage early on. If there are tanks that can get close enough to us, our missiles are going to fire over the top, meaning we can't really do much damage to them. Again, based on where the hills are, we need to try and use them to our advantage, but in this case, they outrange us quite easily with the Morty and with the tower. So, whenever you're going into game modes like Be the Boss or one of the duos, be careful with playing with Stinger. It isn't exactly the best one-on-one tank. It is better suited for team modes. However, if you get the right matchup, you may still be able to win. In this case, however, we're a little bit unlucky with the matchup. If we were to switch things up and move over to the team side of things, with Stinger matching up with two teammates to take on the boss, it's a little bit different of a story. Especially because, as we mentioned before, if we have a frontlining tank, in this case the Phoenix, it means that we can sit at safety. The matchup also favours us a little bit, with Scarab not being ideally that great in a one-on-one in a boss mode. So, as the Phoenix pushes in and forces the Scarab back into the base, we're able to sit back in safety, doing a lot of damage with both our normal attack and our special. Of course, stringing together our special means we can consecutively cast it over and over, making for very quick work of the enemy. In game modes like Starcatch, where the objective is to protect something, it means it's a little bit more of a challenge. This is where you really do need a front line. If we are unable to collect the stars and sit back in safety and do damage, and especially if we don't really have the advantage of using the heals to protect ourselves, in this case they have a Joker doing damage in return, it makes it very difficult for us to stay safe and get our shots off. So, if you have a choice, always make sure to pair Stinger up with something like a Phoenix, a Wally, or a Kong. Something that can distract the enemy team while you sit behind them doing as much damage as you can. Of course, with things like the Morty that can heal us up, it is a little bit more useful. However, with the enemy team having the Scorpion, it makes it too much of a challenge for us. The best thing that we can do is just try to do as much damage as we can and hope for the very best that we can take them down quickly to grab the stars and get back to safety. But in this case, unfortunately, with us not having a good front line, we're unable to be protected and go down too quickly. So if you have a choice of working with a team, try to choose something that complements Stinger very well. If you're playing on your own with a team, try to do the best that you can to do as much damage while helping your teammates out. So what have we learned about Stinger? Stinger is a fantastic mid to long range tank. When paired up with the right team, you can sit at the backline doing a tremendous amount of damage to help carry your team to victory. It's important to remember that you do have an arc to your shots, so being in the right range is going to be very important to be effective. Also remember to use the heals to your advantage as well, especially if you can use higher up advantages like this, that you can deal damage from above and stay in safety. You will take quite a bit of damage if you get too close, so if you don't have a frontline tank, remember to play it safe, moving in and out of the range to do your damage while getting back to get healthy and reload. Pair it up with the right tank parts that suit your playstyle so that you can either do more damage, generate your special faster, or be able to survive longer. This concludes our look at Stinger in the Tank Breakdown series. If you have any hints or tips on how to play them, let us know in the comments below. Also, don't forget, join our Discord so that you can interact with other fans, participate in giveaways, and many other things around the games. Join our social medias, and don't forget, like and subscribe to keep up to date with all the content. Until the next time, have fun, and we will see you on the hills.